In the Matrix, in the Matrix, Matrix, and the Matrix inside the Matrix. I can lay bricks or I can take pics of animatrix doing insane flips. I can be an octopus in my Oculus. Ain't nobody stopping us. Go.
I'm your man, Pooh Nanners, coming to you live from Houston, Texas, joined as always by Stell Shampoo. That's another taste of the rough cut of our theme song. It is not done yet. Oxygen is still working on it, changing a few things here and there. We mentioned to him you can't currently be an octopus, but you can fight one. I showed him video of us fighting an octopus and mentioned to him very quickly, I was like, by the way, that octopus sucks to fight. You fought that guy, right, Stell?
I've never played that hand v hand combat VR game. Are you talking about Thrill of the Fight?
It's a lot of V's. No. It's Knockout League.
Yeah, Knockout League. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that game.
I think I met someone who worked on that game.
Yeah, we did. That's right. Yeah, it's CES. And remember, we were there for the Sprint Vector Championship, and he was demoing it for people at I think it was the Alienware or Dell after party. I can't remember which one it was. I know we're sounding fancy now, but literally anybody could go. Like, there was no rules on that party.
And anyone can fight an octopus in their Oculus.
Yes, that is absolutely true.
That's a great line.
Well, we have a lot to cover, so we're going to try to move at a good clip. I'm going to try my best not to be too loud on the mic, but, I can't help myself. I am made of noises. So we're going to get into it. Archangel Hellfire still fighting it out. The Open Tournament 1 happened recently. Charizard and Serve Error, who did not win in the Streamer Open, decided to try their hands again in the Open Invitational number 1 that just happened. And our very own Halvey has decided to try his hand instead of as a vendor for highlights, decided, hey, I want to be a commentator, I want to be a contributor. So he put together this highlight reel and did the commentary for it. So let's check it out.
Archangel Hellfire is a brand new VR competitive shooter that focuses on tactics and team play, allowing you to become the pilot of a giant mech robot. This is taken from the perspective of number 1 Charizard with his teammate Server Air going up against Dr. DVR and Mr. RJ Green in the final round of the first Open tournament for Archangel Hellfire. So let's go ahead and get right into the gameplay here. Charizard and Server Air were able to pick up 1 kill starting early on in the game. And here Server Air is getting pushed hard. He's low on hull, got down to 10%, less than 10%. But an amazing example of team strategy is Charizard noticed that and he hopped right in between his teammate and the enemy's line of fire, popping his shields up and allowing Server Air the time he needed to make his quick escape. Awesome team move there. Now, a big part of this game is map awareness, and specifically the awareness of the respawn locations on each map for the different boosts and modifiers that you can get in the game. They're things that give you instant health or hull upgrades. They recharge your energy or give you boosts to your weapons. And right there, you can see that's one of those hot spots where they had a firefight engaging over that very thing. You're going to see those a lot around different kills as being focused on areas where those drops are located, because getting one of those drops early on in the game or when you're low on health is going to be crucial to changing the course of the entire match, potentially even. So just earlier there, you were able to see Charizard push the score to a 2-0 lead using his ultimate, the Missile Barrage, picking up the straggling enemy. And here he gets set up again a little bit later in the game with another ultimate Missile Barrage. But this time, the team was ready. They popped their counter ults. One, the light mech using the stealth option, which you see there. He was able to just reappear and attack Server Air. And the other with the green kind of aura is an invincibility aura. And when the ults pop up and you're able to use invincibility, there's nothing that can be done. It completely negates the kill. But luckily for Charizard and Server Air, they were able to isolate Dr. DVR, push him into a corner here. He did not have the map awareness that was necessary to get out of that situation, stay mobile, which is so key in this game, being able to utilize your defense as well, but also get in and out of the fight engagements as needed, especially when coordinating your team strikes. That invincibility aura there coming from the heavy mech is a pretty strong thing. Mr. RJ Green pushing confidently against Charizard with his first invincibility there, thinking he's got him where he wants him. But again, the importance of team strategy. Server Air was able to place behind him, and while his defenses were focused on the front and dealing with Charizard, Server Air was able to come in from behind and just unleash a bunch of damage on Mr. RJ Green, leading them to pin him in a corner and finish him off for the 5-0 lead. Then Dr. DVR comes in with the stealth, but unfortunately, I don't know what he was thinking he would be able to take on 2 mechs at once. That is not how this game works. You've got to be able to work with team play. Almost every situation that there is a kill, it is going to be because the other person was outnumbered. And that is exactly what you see there for a quick and easy 2 back-to-back kills for the 6-0 lead. Moving on, setting up another awesome counter play. Charizard notices that the enemy is on top of the building, unleashing his ultimate, and he is actually talking with Server, saying, "Hey, I'm ready. I got my ult." And as he starts coming down off the top, Charizard jumps up with his ult to launch another attack, a counter attack on the one who just did. It didn't necessarily lead to an immediate death, but he was able to do enough damage to where forcing a retreat on the enemy's end, server error, and Charizard were able to push it forward, and though he tried to escape with the stealth, Charizard said not today. He finished him off for the 7-0 lead. They were then able to capitalize on that and push forward on the enemy who was left without a teammate. And he pops his invincibility there, which is a great move. It's an amazing strategy for when you are left alone and people can capitalize on that 2-1 engagement. That invincibility is the thing that gives you the time to wait for that teammate to get back in range and give you the protection that's needed. Unfortunately, again, for Mr. Green, he wasn't able to last long enough. He took too much damage. So Charizard and Server were able to pick up another kill, pushing them into the city. The other enemy, Dr. DVR, coming in here, they're in the city as well. When you're stuck in a place with a lot of buildings or obstructions around you, it really decreases your ability to stay mobile. And again, that is a very crucial element to this game. So because of that, they're able to push forward and pick up another kill. It is now a 9-0 lead in the final match. So at this point, Charizard and Server Error are feeling pretty confident. It is a 9-0 lead. You just got to get to 10 to get the win. So they start pushing in. Charizard is just looking for that W, but he gets caught off guard. The teammate comes in and starts swarming him. This is the first instance where you start seeing Charizard actually having some serious hull integrity damage. He's using his defenses really well, but he is stuck in trench warfare. This is World War I with mechs here. And he just doesn't have enough energy or hull to escape. Server Error is too far away. And that is the one death that Charizard and Server Error's team face in this match. But as we would assume, this was not the sign of some intense comeback. Charizard and Server Error were able to pick up the final win, bringing the end score to 10-1 Charizard and Server Error in the first open tournament, the final match for Archangel Hellfire.
So that was pretty good. I thought Halfie did a good job. Audio issues aside, this is a group project. This is a all social community thing that we're putting together. So if you have highlights, you have commentary you want to do on the show, you have news you want to do on the show, articles you want to write, there are many ways that you can participate. So just hit us up and join us. There are no rules. We own ourselves. We have not taken any corporate money. We haven't put any ads on the site. The closest thing
sold out yet.
We haven't sold out yet. That's the So
Yeah.
get it on the ground floor is what Stealth is saying. Well, that was very good. I thought it was a very good highlight. Charizard and Server Error redeeming themselves, taking out guys that they'd actually faced in the semifinals of the last tournament. And this one, they went all the way down to the final. So you may see those guys again in the open qualifier too.
Do you know who those guys were?
Yeah.
Well, at least one of them are Beat Saber players.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't actually see who the other one is. I think that's Dr. Doom from Live.
No, it's Dr. DVR, I think is his name. That might be Doom, but I think it's
Is
Dr.
that
D.
Doom? Are there two Dr. Ds in the VR community?
It might be the same guy. He'll have to let us know because right now we don't know. It is a small community in VR, so you'll see people popping up just like, Charizard and Server are unspoken pros. So it is no surprise
Now
to
they're
see them in that
piloting
game.
robots.
And speaking of community contribution, Haskell was able to score an interview with Pesky Cashew, the other half of the winning team from the previous Streamer Open. Let's take a look.
Yes, this game I actually just kind of found with a couple friends, just kind of on a whim. We saw the release on Oculus. We were all in a clan together in Orbis, another VR MMO, and we decided to hop over and try it. The game's only been out about 3 weeks now, I think. 3 to 4 weeks, and we hopped in third, fourth day it was out, just seeing that it was a nice free release, something fun to do, aside from slaving away in that game. So we came over, about 5 of us, hopped in and immediately fell in love with it, and been here ever since.
Now, you said that you kind of prefer the tiny little mech, but are there advantages to playing the small one versus the large one, or do the large ones have advantages as well?
So the general thought, the way the game was kind of developed, is there's a kind of a cycle of strength against each other mechs. So the small one is generally strong against the medium one one's strong against the heavy one, and the heavy one's supposed to be strong against the small one, just in the way of damage and speed and how those mechanics work. But there's kind of an unbalanced little mechanic going on right now where the small ones are just so fast and agile that you can run around grabbing all the pickups and just kind of get a tactical advantage to kind of even your odds with the heavies. and then still harass the medium mechs. So I feel like the small ones have the most well-rounded gameplay available to you right now, but a good heavy mech can definitely still put you in your place.
All right. Well, I love the way this game looks. If you would like, before we leave, you want to take me on a little tour of this particular map that you chose?
Yeah, sure. So we'll hop up this way. I can take you up to a pretty interesting vantage point we have up here around the corner. So for over here, one thing you can look at up there is the big kind of mining laser in this map.
Right.
Colin's base has this big laser. If you fly through it, basically sucks you down and insta kills you.
Oh.
I've had many a new player jump backwards into that, not realizing what it is and getting sucked down in the hole.
Yeah.
So
that's
definitely watch
bad.
out for that one.
Okay. This is a beautiful map. I love the
Yeah,
artwork
aside
in
from
here.
that, it's just a nice kind of little snowy map. This is the one my teammate Ginger and I tend to play on the most, just because it's nice and open. You can have a good vantage point on people.
Yeah,
We
this is
might lose
pretty.
each other here for a second, but we'll hop through this little secret back area, and then we'll use our boost to get up here. Just
Okay.
pressing the
I'm
sticks
moving.
in to fly up.
Okay. Let me see there. Oh yeah, look at that.
So we'll do this.
Oh,
a couple
that was
times,
nice. I
get
like
all
the way
way
that
up here.
felt. Yeah, that has a good feeling to it. Flying.
Yep.
I love
And
flying
then
in VR. It's wonderful.
can hop across here and kind of get a full vantage point on the map. Not a lot of people know you can even get up here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
This is a nice spot to go. Kind of unique to this map that you can get this high
Wow.
on a vantage point.
Yeah, I'm gonna come
All
over
of them
there
have
by
somewhere
you.
that you can go. But yeah, so I mean, down here to the right is one of the spawn for the Human X team. The USFF team spawns down on the other side. You have these little energy pickups scattered across the map.
Yeah, this is real cool.
Fun fact: there's a little red one hidden behind another one of those doors down there. That the red ones are at 75% energy pack. The yellow ones are 50. But yeah, this is one of my favorite maps. It's more
great.
enclosed than the others. There's nowhere you can kind of go off and hide. So generally, if you're fighting people here, it's always a big skirmish. There's really nowhere to hide for long.
Yeah, this is real pretty. All right, well, this is really cool. Has this become your new favorite game, and is this what you play most?
I think so. I mean, I've been playing a lot of this lately. Still hanging out with the old crew from the other game I mentioned periodically. That was put a couple hundred hours in that game, but this one's definitely been pulling me away more often than maybe it should.
Yeah, that's great. I have great hopes for you guys and for the game, for the developers. They've done a great job. So I hope they will continue to improve this game. And also, I look forward to seeing what they come out with next.
Yep. Yeah, and as a side note, if you can, send people over to the Discord. There's a ton of people chatting in there all the time. And because there's no public lobby for the game, I think the more people we get in there, the better it'll be. People probably enjoy it more. You get some tips from the experienced players. You get some good banter going on. Maybe a little too much, but I really love that. I mean, most of the VR games are still small enough and have a tight-knit community. Like you can just have one-on-one chats with the devs and a lot of the forums and stuff, and they're really responsive because it's so new. And usually they're pretty small teams that I mean, they're up for chatting about anything that could make the game better, smoother, more appealing.
Yeah, and they're passionate
So
about
it's
it.
just nice to be able to have that one-on-one a lot of the time.
It is. I think that they're also new to this, and so they have a passion. They want to share it with the world and do a great job. And so it's wonderful to see that they're being able to do that with communities that are respectful and enjoying, grateful for the games that they're giving us. You know, they're giving us these wonderful products that are just new to the world.
Okay, that was just a little bit abrupt cut off from Hasco there, but I appreciate Hasco putting that together with Pesky Cashew, giving us a tour of the map, telling us a little bit about the game. The game has not been out long. It is free, and they're an active community. Anybody who seems to play this game starts to fall in love with it. Rukefeld feels a certain way about it. When the game first came out, yeah, when the game first came out, it was on rails. Like when we saw that they were going to have like a Gundam style game, we're like, yes, and they said on rails, and we're like, no. And people pestered them. They're like, "Hey, we want combat. We want artificial locomotion. Give it to us." And they did, but they did in such a way that people just kind of were busy doing a lot of other stuff. And the handful of people got into it. They're like, "Hey, let's organize a competition. People need to see how fun this is." And people just kind of stumble upon it, played it, and are instantly falling in love. It is beautiful. It has a lot of mechanics to it. It's one of those things that's easy to figure out, impossible to master. So I do highly recommend people get into these tournaments. Now, the Open Tournament 2 qualifiers are finishing up right now. So you're not going to be able to get into that. Those matches will be played on the 11th and 12th. However, the Open Tournament 3 qualifiers are going to happen between the 13th and 15th. And that will be your last chance to get into those matches. and to be able to get a shot at the Tournament of Champions. So make sure you check out their site. Easiest way to get there is you go to VRespawn.com, hover over compete, and you will find Archangel and the link to the competition so you can figure out how to get into it. Join the Discord as you do with most of these competitions to find out more. And our website will help you out. Speaking of things that our website will help you out with, Pavlov. We have links to everything Pavlov there as well. And Nikki's going to walk us through what happened this last week.
Man, we got some cool Pavlov highlights for you guys that we're going to get into right now before we talk about some of the standings. Here we got Saisilo, as I'm going to pronounce it because no one has told me how to pronounce it properly. Man. Saikilo, as Poonander says, gets a nice headshot pick from across the bookshelf, gets 2 with the M4, tries to go in for the spray. He was in a 1v4 situation, chopped it down to 1v2, and this player's got to go get the bomb that was dropped. They were in the middle of a bomb plant, but our M4 hero from TNT is going to be able to flank around and manage to get a couple shots off on this P90 player. They're pinned down into this room trying to get the bomb down, and he's going to try to clutch it out, peeks around the corner, and takes his head clean off. The bomb did go down, though, but he's got 37 seconds to defuse it. And watch this right here in just a moment. Pistol flip, and he's going to finish defusing the bomb and steal some weapons off the floor to hand over to his down teammates because they're not going to have any guns. Amazing clutch right there. And let's head over to see what the leftovers are doing with... Is that an op? It looks like we got 2 players coming up the stairway right here on the office. He's going to take a shot, not hit that one. Off screen, level 3 mage is going to get sniped here. And we're going to go back up to our sniper, who's going to get 2 beautiful op picks right here, back to back. The 3K to clean out the round. And yet again, another bomb defuse, this time from the leftovers. Beautiful sniping right there. And last up, we got Arctic here. He's got the Uzi, the complete opposite weapon from the op. And this thing reloads super fast, sprays nonstop through the smoke, is going to be able to pick off a player here in just a moment, gets the first one, and is going to continue spraying even though the smoke's not there. You can see the magazines just littering the floor. There's an unlimited amount of ammo, and the Uzi is a pretty cheap gun, so this is a pretty viable strategy. As you'll see, he'll get a second pick right there. Ends up managing to get 3 people. Unfortunately, the Uzi spraying man is going to be the only one of Arctic to go down as they manage to shut out that round. Not a bad tactic. When you're low on money, you can't afford that illustrious P90. Uzi's getting the job done. Let's head over to an interview. I've heard we got one from Swordcaster of TNT. They're the number 3 team. Let's see what they have to say about this video game.
All right, here I am, Poon Anders, coming to you live from inside Pavlov. We're about to break it down. One of the top players in the game from TNT, the leader, I would so to speak, Swordcaster.
Howdy, howdy.
So, Swordcaster, tell us a little bit about your team and how you guys got together.
Yeah, so TNT has been around since Season 2. Originally, we were 2 separate teams from Season 1 who were kind of bottom of the barrel, but we had some talent. We had a lot of players that weren't active, so I wanted a team that was active. I spoke with Jakami, who's known as the Nade God in Pavlov. We decided to kind of get together and bring on our most active players, and that's how TNT was formed. And then in Season 2, we gained Search and Destroy and Cameron, a few other people that really brought the team together.
I've noticed some amazing nade plays and some of the highlights that we've been noticing lately. And I love that Pavlov TV actually shows you the arc now so you can really see where those nades are going. But man, I've seen triple kills from like a blind corner. We're used to seeing Scorch just like point blank dropping a flash right in a whole group of people's faces. Really, the nade play in 3-dimensional like VR movement, like they actually have to throw it. And everybody knows throwing stuff in VR is already difficult as it is. So watching people develop that skill is exciting. It's one of those things that really interests me.
Yeah, those kills feel particularly good as well. They feel a little more earned and just a little more satisfying.
Yeah, so that's real good. So right now you guys are number 3 on the leaderboard. I know you said you have a lot of ties that are holding you back. Right now you say you're mostly in a leadership role, and that's how you keep your guys going strategically. Going forward, using things like new tools like Pavlov TV, what is it that y'all think y'all need to do in order to climb that leaderboard and take out the top dogs?
I think one important thing is just learning. I watch every game that's casted with Pavlov TV, every single one, and I usually watch it multiple times. I try to get an idea for what certain teams like to do, what they're most likely to do, what they don't often do, and then make my calls based on that. So I think it's really important to use the tools we have, to use Pavlov TV, which has been a godsend as in-game leader, and learn as much as I can about these other teams. Because it's one thing just playing them every once in a while. It's another thing seeing them from above and like actually seeing how they spread apart, what they do, how they move. I mean, Dream Team and Voltron are both great teams, and there's a lot to learn there.
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, Dave kicking out the jams constantly. I mean, added a new guns to the game, adding new game modes to the game, tweaking some weapon, giving us that economy shotty that everyone's excited about. And Pavlov TV really changed the game for a lot of people. So it's exciting to hear people like you really leveraging that tool. Going forward, are you planning on adding anyone new to the team, changes to the roster, anything exciting happening?
So we recently, last week, I want to say, we recently added M-Pads, a player who's in NA, but he was playing for Aussie Army, the Australian team, due to a weird schedule. I've wanted M-Pads for quite a while, so I'm glad that I could convince him to come on to TNT. So he is our newest member, and he actually closes off our team. We're completely full now.
That's fantastic. I do enjoy hearing these recruitment stories where people are trying to trade after each other and how they're like sort of headhunting. They're like, no, we need that guy. So that's good to hear. Well, I can't wait to see more from you guys. Stay in touch. Definitely, since you're watching Pavlov TV, keep those highlights coming towards us, and we'll try our best to cover them every week on the show.
Yeah, I'll have a highlight for you, man. Our guy Psykillo in the last game of the season versus the Mafia, he had a 1v4. He took all 4 out and defused the bomb. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Psykillo is a monster. Yeah,
crazy kills are exactly what I want to see. And I'm sure other people do, and we do make the show for other people, but it's really just me getting to see awesome kills. Pavlov, a lot of the clutch plays at Pavlov get me really excited. Every play, it's like, it's going, and the commentators will say something. It's like, oh, yeah, look, this is happening. Me the whole time, I'm like, no.
I feel you there, man.
Oh, man. Well, thanks again for helping us out. We can't wait to see more from you guys.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, man. I look forward to the championship. Dream Team and Voltron, we're coming for you. That title's ours.
So, again, that was Swordcaster of TNT. It was great to hear from him telling us, again, giving us pre-warning in that one about the 1v4 clutch play from Psykillo. Oh, man, that was so good. How hype was that just by himself? And he's like, you know what? I'm just going to flip this gun, disarm the bomb, grab my gun.
That pistol flip he had so much time to do that. It's so stylish.
Oh, man.
Well played. Come under pressure, and then he executes, and then he flips his pistol.
He's so spicy. I love it.
I like that. Anyway, I have been informed that August 11th, 12th, and 19th, the very best teams in Pavlov will fight in a grand championship. And these are the very best teams right here. As you can see, Dream and Voltron up in the first and second spot, respectively. But Voltron has a better win-lose ratio there, even though Dream has a couple more points due to their ties. And TNT sitting over there in third place, and third place is pretty far behind second. First and second are really, really close, but third place TNT is going to have that lockdown, and VRath in fourth. Ladies and gentlemen, keep an eye on Twitch and the VR Master League website and their Discord to check out the Pavlov Championship that's coming up in just a week.
Yeah, man. They're going to play it out, right? 11th, 12th, 19th. We're going to see the top players take each other down, like grand champions. He just said, we're coming for Voltron. He's going to try to take them down. These guys are no scrubs, though. If you've watched Dream Team and Voltron play, we know it's going to be very difficult for them to take him down. However, Psykillo, man, if he can 1v4 people, he could do anything. He's made out of magic. Speaking of things that are made out of magic. Speaking of things that are made out of magic. Echo Arena, one of my personal favorite games. One of the things that really took off for me in VR. I enjoyed a lot of the things that I'd been playing, but Echo Arena was where I really just got sucked in to a community and couldn't get enough. Echo Arena had some really interesting things happen for Cup 9. And we're going to take a look at these highlights so I don't completely spoil what's going to happen. And if you didn't watch any of the streams or are unaware of what happened, but it was absolutely the unthinkable. So here we have in this first one, you're going to watch, they're going to try to rush down the goal to drop in his three-pointer. And immediately, Simeon's like, get that out of my house. I'm having none of that. Good stop from Simeon. I thought that three-pointer was going in. I even called it as a three-pointer that was going in, and they went to drop it in, and then Simeon was like, absolutely not. We're not having any of that. Gets rid of it again. Now you see right here, Palador Gets the disc taken away from him. It goes, flies all the way down. They're going to rush it. Dash has an easy shot. He's going to drop in this easy point, but then the boost master Palador takes it. It's like, get that out of here. Gets it taken back from him. Takes it again 3 times. Getting it knocked out. He goes for it. Drops it again on the goal. Says, no, I am Neo in the Matrix, and this disc is out of here. Absolutely great play from him. So here you're going to see that they're going to fight over the disc a bit back and forth. This is Eclipse 11.5 still. That's what all these highlights are from, that Eclipse 11.5 really went at it today. And after the disc gets cleared, watch Wit gets up with his teammate Dash and boosts like a beast into 3-point laser cannon right before Eclipse can get there to stop him. Absolutely great move. Now you're going to watch here. They're leading into the 3rd round. Both have 1-1, and you can't beat Eclipse on a joust. But what they do is they use a headbutt. Headbutt counters everything, because even if you have the disc in your hand, someone headbutts it, it comes out. So it's not down to the first. Headbutt kicks it away, and they recover it and drop a 3-pointer at the very beginning of round 3-pointer. Oh, so clean, so good. I love it. They were maintaining the momentum. They're like, no, we are going to get this win in game on stream. Finally, we're going to be the ones to take down Eclipse. Now, granted, anybody who's aware of what happened in the first cup, it happened first time with Eclipse and Metamercs, but you know, that's what people are still figuring out. Here they go again. Loveridge is going to get himself a recovery as in this little match. They're going to try to fight it out, go back and forth, but they're not going to actually be able to stop this as you watch Eclipse just pound after pound, throwing disc after disc shot at the goal, all the juking they can, and cannot land a shot. 20 seconds left, getting knocked out, trying to clear it out, not getting cleared out, getting recovered, because Eclipse doesn't want to give this up. They want to take that 3-pointer. They need to get that 3-pointer because they're running out of time, so they're hoping somebody will knock out a goalie or something, and Lemming can't get it. Loveridge clears it out with no time left. They couldn't tie it up, hoping they could get into that overtime and win that joust, because that joust is what they have. And it was this win that sealed a win of an entire best of 3 over Eclipse. The unthinkable happened, and 11.5 did it in online play. Very, very exciting to watch. But not to be outdone, 11.5 went to go play Ultra. Now, Ultra had been beat by Eclipse, and Ultra gets beat by 11.5 all the time. So you didn't expect this to happen, but 11.5 came to play. Immediately, you see Loveridge actually drop himself in a 3-pointer. So they're like, you know, hey, we're not to be outdone. We're a really good team. We're going to show you what it's all about. But it proved in the end not to be enough. As you can see already, this is another match that they played where they're ahead. You can see this vertical juking from Brennan. He's really good. Got those squats and those jumps in.
Goes for a
drops in a
3-point
mill slot 3
Oh my God.
And that was
Highlight
the
that,
beginning of the end where
that is how you do it.
11.5
The quarterback just walked it
by
in
Ultra.
and grabs himself
Who'd
a
have thought? So
three-pointer.
after they were able to beat Eclipse, slated to be undefeated in that cup, Ultra comes in and just takes it from them. Absolutely brutal. And Haskell was able to get us an interview with Palador about what's coming up.
So I'm here this evening with Palador. Palador is a friend of mine. We started in this game together, and he is doing an awesome job. He plays on Team Eclipse with Lemming and Simeon. And so I just wanted to chat with him a little bit this evening and find out how things were going and what their outlook would be for the rest of the season. So first of all, Palador, how you been? I haven't seen you much lately.
Oh, good. I'm just busy with lots of practice, lots of scrims, stuff like that. So haven't been in lobbies and quick play quite as much.
So I saw you guys brought on Simeon this year. He's a great player, and I've been watching the gameplay some. And how is that going, integrating him in? Have you had to change your play style any or do anything different? Or did he just kind of fill the position that iShiny did?
He adds a bit of a different dynamic to it. iShiny was kind of the brains of our operation, and he was very much a brawler, kind of, and Simeon is more of a... He's heavy on offense. He's basically a very Lemming-like kind of player. And he's great at brawling too, don't get me wrong, but adding Simeon to the mix is basically adding a second Lemming to our team, which gave us a lot of offensive firepower. And,
that's great.
Last season, Lemming was kind of our solo carry on the offensive end. Me and iShiny were capable of scoring, but Lemming was the one with all the moves and the ducks and the jumps and the zigzags and things like that. He got a little bit more crazy with it, and Simeon's kind of in the same mold as Lemming in that regard. So
yeah, I've noticed that Simeon seems to have a pretty high score count at the end of each game. So that's really great to have an offensive player who can score a lot.
Yeah, definitely. It takes some of the pressure off of me and Lemming to have two really strong options in him. I mean, I'm not bad at goal, but I'm definitely not on the level of Lemming and Simeon with all the jukiness and the moves and things like that. So it's nice having those two strong forward options, and it lets me do my thing kind of from the back line.
One thing I've noticed this season is that you guys have a very impressive record. First of all, you have placed first overall every week, but you've lost just a handful of games. So my question is, in the few games that you have lost, what do you think happened there? And as far as having a record where you've placed first every week, what do you think you're doing right that has allowed you guys to accomplish that?
I think it's just great teamwork and consistency, really, that lets us do that. As far as our losses go, it's a combination of factors. I mean, one, us not playing optimally necessarily, but two, it's just the reality of the competition that teams are getting a lot better. Every week, month to month, ever since season 1, even like each month, you notice teams and individual players getting better and better, and competition is just really good, which is, I think, good for spectators and players alike.
Yeah, definitely. The spectating has been absolutely amazing recently, I think, and the ESL did a fantastic job with the Echo Arena Invitational. Of course, I was watching it from home.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Yeah, the coverage was amazing for that, as far as the way they did the camera angles and made sure that we could see you guys plus the actual gameplay and stuff. So that was pretty cool. I think esports is growing very quickly. VR esports specifically. You kind of feel like that you guys have a role to fill there as far as setting a good example or setting the standard for what is going to happen in VR esports?
Not just us, not just Eclipse, but all the other teams who were there and who participated in season 1, season 2, in any capacity. It's like we're all the first generation of VR gamers and first generation of VR esport athletes and things like that. And so, it is kind of new ground for everyone involved from top to bottom, whether it's, way at the top with Oculus and Facebook, or you're talking developers, streamers, players, whatever it is, like top to bottom, we're all kind of brand new to this whole thing and trying to figure it out along the way. So, it is really, really cool. And I guess, if we could set a good example, that's great. But even just the fact that we're, going into history, years from now, you can say, hey, I was part of the first ever VRL season or VRCL. It's a cool little notch to have on your belt.
So that was Hasco, having a little trouble with the audio there. As you can tell, her Discord keeps dinging. She's a busy person. We've got to teach her how to mute some channels when she does that. Yeah, streamer mode for sure. There's also, she had a handful of problems where you saw like the Windows bar come up. We're all still learning here, and Hasco is one of those people that we're still teaching. I have tech conversations with her sometimes. She's like, let me get my husband. I'm not sure about that one. Well, let's get into the standings. As you can see, Metamercs were essentially in their own cup. I'm not putting down Team Velocity and Atlas and Schindler's Disc and the rest of the guys, but they knew Metamercs was going to come out undefeated, and undefeated they did. So not too much unexpected there. But it was this match we talked about. Eclipse got beat by 11.5. Eclipse beat Ultra. Then Ultra beats 11.5. What is happening? And as you see how the tab breakers work out, even with all those 4-1s, Eclipse on top, Ultra in 2, and 11.5, who worked so hard to get it undefeated and to get the number 1 spot in that cup, lost it. And that in the current stage rankings, that puts them tied up with Metamercs. Not that it really matters. They're already a shoe-in for the global qualifiers coming up just as a result of their performance in earlier stage finals. But still, this was their time to shine, and they could not seal the deal. And it like took away all the fun out of their win. Speaking of taking the fun out of the win, Team Gravity over here in against Backlash. Actually, Backlash, we expected them not to win over Team Gravity, but Backlash has been coming in number 2 consistently, doing better now that Sundance has put together his own team. Aftershock actually doing really poor today.
There?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how Aftershock got down there. I have not asked. I might ask. It's probably extenuating circumstances. Maybe more people were deciding to not be outdone by the other teams and they want to do some arm wrestling. I don't know. But over in EU2, you have Blast taking it out 3-0. They had to actually go 3 rounds because there was a rogue team. There was a team that just sort of joined up. I think that might be the guys at the bottom, the Jokers or something. I don't remember who it was, but there was a rogue team who just showed up and then didn't play anymore. So they had to cut it short.
Test team also.
Yeah, I know, right? It's EU as Lemming said to me once, he's like, EU gonna EU, man. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. And
Interesting
sometimes it's gonna
cover
be awkward.
blast here.
Yeah. So just it is what it is. But Blast sitting on top, really sealing the deal for their position that they're gonna get OC5. You should see Team Gravity at OC5 as well. But it's gonna be a real fight in the North American teams to see who's gonna get to OC5. Speaking of OC5, you have the Stage 3 finals supposed to be coming up this weekend. Right. And that's going to see who's going to get into those world qualifiers. That's not on the list on the schedule that you see from VR Challenge or VR League now, but it is there. It is totally going to happen. I'm waiting for it. That's going to be one real fun one to get. The last chance qualifier is happening on the 14th. So if your team is not going to make it in the stage finals for 3, get in the last chance qualifier, compete, and if your team is not already qualified for the world qualifiers, then you'll be able to get into the world qualifier matches, which is what it's all going to come down to. Those are going to be played on the 19th. And the top 2 winners from North America, top 2 winners from European Union are the ones who are going to win. A lot of top players are upset about that it's all going to come down to an online bracket. But I was like, but you guys usually win the online brackets. Like the usual suspects are the ones on the top. But they're like afraid of like lag and other things like that. And I'm like, dude, best player is going to win. Like we've seen in this game, even with all the luck, with the best out of 3 and double elimination, the best players usually rise to the top regardless of what happens. So I'm not too worried. Speaking of other VR League games and world finals, let's talk about Unspoken. Now, there are no matches that have been played. However, the last chance qualifier for them to get into their world qualifiers, is happening on the 14th. So check the link on our site under Compete. You go to Compete, go under VR League, and you can see Unspoken. Check the page and see how you can get in on the last chance qualifier, because the world finals to see which teams get in or which players get into OC5 is happening on the 18th. Top 2 players from North America, top 2 players from the European Union. Now, Sprint Vector is a little bit different. They're not having an open qualifier. Yeah, Sprint Vector indeed.
Yeah,
the world's fastest bunny hopper now, it seems, right? Rook posted that video showing off his bunny hopping skills. Yes. They just had their Mr. E's League. We talk a little bit more. We had the winners on that one. But before we get into that, before we get into it, I want to talk about this for a second. The world finals, the world qualifiers to see who gets in to OC5 are happening on the 17th. They're going to take the top 4 players from North America, top 3 from EU. They do have a much smaller league. And then they're going to allow one player, the top player from the Steam brackets, is going to come out to OC5. So if you've been sticking it out in the Steam brackets, you're actually going to get an invite and get to come on down. So that's worth sticking it out. I don't know who the number 1 guy is over there. Do you know?
On Steam, I have no idea.
We've not been following Steam. I didn't know that they would be included in OC5, so I unintentionally left them out, mostly because I'm lazy, because that's way more boards that I have to print, and I'm so lazy. But we're getting more people. We're getting people coming across as writers. We're getting guys going to help us produce a lot of the graphics, so there'll be less effort on me and Stealth's side, considering all the effort that we try really hard not to put in.
I don't like writing.
So Sprint Vector, tell us about Mr. E's League and what happened.
Yeah, so we got a list. So the competitor with the fastest time, I believe, got a prize. It was the Intel Core i7 processor. I think it might be a 67 or 7700K.
Didn't you get an 8? Didn't you get a Gen 8?
I think I got an 8700K.
Yeah,
it might also be an 8700K that I got from IAM Oakland that I won there.
Yeah, from winning Sprint Vector. So still on top.
This is from, I still haven't used that GPU or CPU. It's still sitting somewhere for emergencies. But these are the winners from the Mr. E's League. Each of these speedy sprinters that has earned an Intel Core i7 processor and a custom MetaThreads eSports jersey. The PC winner was Reese with a Cosmic Odyssey time of 1:09. I haven't even played that map.
Jesus.
Honestly.
1:09?
That's the map that came out after Outer Vegas, so I'm not even sure if that's fast or not.
That
PSVR
is
is really far behind, though. 120. So 109 versus 120.
Who got 120?
Tracking. That's Mano Warkill on PSVR got 120. And so Reese got 109.
120
is on YouTube.
120 is a fairly fast time if you're getting Nitro and you're doing like single player runs. Then 120 is really.
I think they had to do pure, the special Sprint Vector competitive.
Then 120. Then 120 is somebody who knows how to jump boost pretty well. 109 is somebody who's doing bunny hop and jump boosting. That's Stody play.
And Stody, surprisingly, not on this list. I think he's just gotten too much money from ESL, so he just wasn't interested. But
the taxes.
On top of that, we got a bunch of people who won from the random drawing. Cod Worthless won an i7 processor. That's one of the ESL players. Flipside got a MetaThread Sprint Vector jersey, which is sick. Our man Quiet Intel has one. Your name is on the back of it. It's $60. I'll get the website up on VRespawn.com if you guys want one. These MetaThread Sprint Vector jerseys are sick, and you can get your name on the back of them. Roxy QC won a jersey as well. And then a bunch of names we recognize got swag packs. Katie Dead, who's kind enough to send us gameplay all the time. Huge thanks to her. Matt builds things. He is constantly on the leaderboards. I remember back when we were playing challenge maps, he was always up there with Rook and everyone who was battling out on the challenge maps. Master Shadow, who we've met personally and was nice enough to film some Echo Combat for us. He got a swag pack. A man, Rook from the Sprint Vector Stealth Shampoo Sprint Syndicate won a swag pack, and then Mage O Chicken. I have no idea who that is. But those people all won things.
He's a magic chicken, I guess.
Congratulations to them.
Yeah. So congratulations to them. And as Stealth said, he's going to publish this information on VRespawn.com, including a link to get your hands on that jersey. I know it sounds like a shameless plug, but we really love the stuff that comes from them. We love the free shirts. And we've been we don't get anything for it. And we've been lusting after the jersey design for a while. So we've wanted to get our hands on it. So I've asked him to write that article and put that link up there just so I don't have to find it later so I can buy a jersey. But you can too if you are a fan and you want to get one and you weren't able to get one. Moving on to Onward. Take it away, Nikki.
Oh, I see what you did there, Poonairs. We got lots of cool stuff that happened in Onward. No one sent me clips, so they once again attached a GoPro to my forehead and sent me out on the battlefield to film. It's really dangerous out there. I got shot once in the leg. So please send me Onward clips so we don't have to tape. You hear? I don't know if you can hear the ambulance outside my window, but it's just leaving my house after dropping me off right before the show. Please send me Onward clips so I don't get shot. And we're going to get over to some of those highlights, starting off with the Danglers. This is a really funny clip right here. One of the Danglers players is going to eat a grenade to the face, unfortunately, get rezzed, and eat another grenade directly to the face. Unbelievably unfortunate, but that's how it goes sometimes. Meanwhile, we're going to learn to check our corners on board here with one of the G-Men players. You can see one of the G-Men players actually went down here. You can see his body on the floor. And it's going to get moved aside here a little bit as these players completely miss each other. But one of these Blaze players realizes that there's something wrong and takes out his knife for a stealthy backstab. You got to watch out. Check your corners there. He didn't check that.
I bet he mained Spy in TF2.
And another thing you guys should learn is that grenades should be applied to your opponents instead of yourself. The Stone Cold Killers player is going to bounce that right off the wall. And unfortunately not be able to get out of the way in time. I think he actually tried to pick it up and throw it away as well instead of just booking it out of there. It's probably should make sure that the grenades go towards the enemies next time. And we're going to see a rare Globochem team kill here coming up in just a moment. We got Pants, who's going to gun down an Animal House player, and unfortunately he's going to get the pants scared out of him as Toast shoots him directly in the back. That doesn't happen very often from the top team and Onward. So that was a rare sight to see. Meanwhile, I have no idea how G4 got up here.
Magic.
If someone would like to tell me, then please let me know. But the Blaze players are going to know that something has gone awry, and they send out their Riot Shielder to check out what's going on. They know that he's up here, and unfortunately one of their players is they're going to get him off the roof. That could have been an insane sneaky play. But speaking of insane sneaky plays, Blaze's Verds here is peeked into this little cubby hole. He's going to be real patient. He does see Chief there and is going to be forced to shoot as another player enters his cubby. And that's 3 men down in the blink of an eye by Verds. Amazing.
God, can you imagine being able to hold out that long? Just, oh man, I can't hold out that long. Oh man.
Calm and collected. And we're going to go back to Globochem here. Pants is waiting. He knows Grand Theft Auto's waiting there. He hears the grenade go off. Here's the pin pulled and uses that opportunity while that player's gun is down to cross and move towards the objective. He's going to hide out in a corner here as Grand Theft Auto totally saw Pants cross, and Pants is going to get the drop on him. The tables turned so quickly right there. He heard the pin pulled. Audio matters. And we're going to go ahead into an interview with the EU team, the beginners, Cushberries and Dr. Killinger, that we got here on tape for you guys.
All right, I'm Poonanders again here
with some onwards top dogs from the beginners. We have Dr. Killinger and Cushberries. Cushberries on the left, Dr. Killinger on the right. I'm going to talk a little bit about their experience of the game and what's coming up. So tell me about the different play styles between these European teams, or at least mostly European in your case, and the North American teams.
American teams are faster. They usually go for the territory and take more risks compared to European teams. European teams are more methodical and patient, I would say. Both playstyles have their strengths and weaknesses. I guess it just depends on the execution. Both are viable, I would say.
So it's like take your time versus shock and awe.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
High risk reward versus don't get too far ahead of yourself. Well, that's interesting play styles. We do know that sometimes fortune favors the bold, but sometimes you get caught with your pants down. No one likes that. Well, we know that you guys went to the UK Invitational. How was that experience for you guys, and how much do you... I know Kush couldn't make it. That's why he looked up like that. But you, Dr. Killinger, you were able to make it. What was an experience like getting to play on LAN, and what do you think about that in the future?
It was very cool. Well, the coolest part was meeting everyone from my team, from other teams, devs, well, everyone from community. And as far as playing, it was definitely a different experience than playing at home.
Yeah, I would say playing in front of people would be a lot more nerve-wracking than playing in the comfort of your own space.
Well, yeah, but when you got the headset on, you forget they're there. You forget where you
are. No. You could like even in Leicester, we could hear other teams cheering at the back room.
Oh,
so if there is an audience, you definitely will be able to hear them. And like people were talking about who have experience with those tournaments that. Yeah, you can hear the audience cheer.
Well, that's also a fun part of those events is getting to watch your friends play live with other people. It's almost like you're sitting down watching a sport like you would normally with friends, sitting around drinking beer, eating hot wings, and watching them and yelling at the screen, even though they in the next room, they could partially hear you saying, "Oh, no, he's going to shoot you, get down." And like everybody drops at once because they don't know who's about to get shot.
Right. Yeah.
So I know you guys haven't qualified yet, but you are strongly favored to make it to OC5. What is the excitement? What are the feelings? What are you guys looking forward to do? Are you reviewing any videos to make sure that you could take down Globochem or at least qualify?
Yeah, for sure. We're reviewing all the videos. Right now the focus is on who we're gonna play in the qualifiers. They're gonna start this week, and our qualifier is gonna be in 3 weeks. And as far as global, they're definitely the favorites after winning the last season and the invitational. They have strong strategies, strong players.
Yes, very strong, very fast players, good shots. You don't want to get caught peeking with these guys.
Yeah, good.
You got to cover your back, cover your teammates' backs with these guys. They'll come out of nowhere sometimes. But we're ready. We're praying. We're training. We're putting it together. I think we have a really good chance at these guys. And we've beat them before. We know we can do it again.
Well, there definitely can be beaten. So that's nice to hear y'all coming about that. Sounds like to what you're describing it, that fighting them is like fighting a team of ninjas. So there is that problem.
Yeah, not really. They're definitely beatable. But yeah, they are strong. Yeah, they have very good comms and good teamwork. Like not even some solid strats, but in terms of just playing the rounds.
So it sounds like the trick here is going to be trying to get them just a little hungover before the event, and maybe that'll give you the edge you need. Got to party hard before the day before.
First round's on me.
Got a metagame. This is a common mistake that we see people make at their first LAN is that they party too hard or stuff happens, and it becomes a problem for them. ends up costing them. Or people like Viatrex and Tutorial Bot, they decided to arm wrestle each other the night before, and then their arms were killing them all through the event. So
it was funny for the lesser event, though. I thought that my team would have had a much better advantage due to jet lag, since the other 3 teams were American flying over the pond.
Oh yeah, so y'all are gonna be jet lagged out this time. So there is that to consider. It's quite the time difference. Well, again, these are the beginners. We have Cushberries on the left and Dr. Killinger on the right. Thank you for taking time with us today, and we can't wait to see more from you guys. Okay, again, that was the beginners. I appreciate them taking the time to let us interview them and ask them a little bit about their team. It's an EU team, but as you saw there, they actually have themselves an American player. So that was Cushberries actually supporting the team there. Was not able to make the UK Invitational, but he says he's going to make it because of work. He said he's going to make it to the OC5, assuming they get in, and it's, they're strongly favored to get in, at least according to the current standings. What about those standings?
They're clearly one of the more dominant teams in the EU. Global Chem is still holding it down as regarded the number 1 team in Onward at 6-0, but Beginners right behind them at 6-0 in Europe. They're pretty much the European equivalent of Global Chem. Then Boss Fight down there at 6-2, and then Lemon Squad, Danglers battling it out with Danglers actually playing 1 less game, so they have a chance to tie that up 5-2. And hopefully we can meet some of these guys over at OC5, because hopefully that party happens and we can gather everyone around and at least...
We're talking about the party again. I haven't heard back from our contacts. I have actually looked at more venues, but I'm gonna hit the man who shall not be named just yet. I'm gonna hit him up again and say, hey, it's been a week. What do you think? What's the idea? Before we start pulling the trigger on that one, but
we're going to do something.
We have
all
to
hanging
do
out.
We're
something will happen.
We're going to figure
no
something
matter
out.
what.
That's right. Even if I have to order a whole bunch of McDonald's, we're going to make it happen.
Exactly.
Assuming I make it out there.
We have been told that open qualifiers for OC5 are on the 11th and 12th for teams ranked 14th and below, and I don't fully understand how that works. So we'll have a full breakdown written by someone who does understand it of how qualifying teams for the World
It's actually
Championships
already
work
up on our
VRespawn.com.
website. If you go to the second section, there's everything about OC5 that you need to know, and there's one for Onward. Onward has this complicated chart on how people are going to qualify for the World Finals at OC5. So be sure to check that out. It is complicated. It's also on VR Master League site. You can check that out. One interesting thing I wanted to mention though is that Onward, week over week, ever since they've been premiered on VR League and talked about more and pushed on the Facebook gaming platform, they've been getting more and more views and more players, and it's been getting more exciting for them that people are starting to see more attention. Because a lot of people just did not know this game existed, and
so easy to understand game.
Yeah, it's easy to understand, impossible to master. It's really just shoot. You know how good you're aiming. It really draws a lot of paintballers and airsoft players. But it's really good, man. Just getting on top of that roof and then them both having to jump on them. How you even got up there? Just magic, I guess, is the only way they do it. Speaking of magic and things we can't figure out, let's talk about Beat Saber, Stealth.
Oh, man, I got Beat Saber completely figured out. The Virtual Athletics League tournament is coming on August 17th. I did an insane amount of math to figure out how well competitive players need to do in this tournament to secure a victory. And we'll be talking about that in a moment. But first off, on the rules, the 2 songs available are $100 Bills and Escape, which is really controversial.
The easy stuff, yeah.
They're not allowing customs for copyright purposes, but they also picked 2 of the easiest songs in the game. Escape might be second easiest. I'd say Legend is probably the easiest. Escape's got a lot of squats, though, so you do need a little bit of leg endurance there. But $100 Bills is not rhythmically a very difficult song. Neither is Escape. They're both great songs, though. They're definitely more difficult ones in the base game, especially with Angel Voices, the 11th song just coming out. But those are the 2 maps, $100 Bills and Escape. And I got word on one of the prizes. These aren't 100% confirmed, but they told me they're really confident in them. These are the prizes being awarded locally, not globally, at a Northern California arcade. First place is $100, second place is $50, and third place is $25. There is a flat rate of $5 per attempt at the global tournament, and the payouts are for only people who show up in person. But if you buy at this particular arcade 30 minutes or more, then your first attempt at the tournament is free. You can expect similar offers at other arcades because this arcade deals with Springboard. Springboard is sponsoring this event, so other arcades that use Springboard, which is a software arcades use to pay for licenses because you can't just show off these games for free. Got to pay the devs. So this is what one of the prizes look like on one of the prize sets at one of my local arcades. So just to give you guys a heads up on that. The official prizes will be announced sometime on Friday for the global prizes. But let's get into some of the numbers here. If you want to compete in this tournament and you want a chance at the global prizes, if you want a chance at the local prizes, just make sure some maniac isn't going to show up and absolutely bury you, because some Beat Saber players are absolutely ridiculous. But I ran a simulation of the tournament here in my studio, and I got some numbers. Let's check them out here. The max score you can get for $100 bills is 386,320. The max score you can get for escape is 352,880. That means your total tournament score, if you are some kind of maniac robot and you can hit every note perfectly for 110 points and not lose your multiplier, you're looking at 739,200 score. Now, we're going to assume for you to win the global tournament that people are going to full combo this song. I know for a fact that players around the world are going to be competing who can easily full combo these songs and songs that are 5 times as hard. So if you want the global prize, you're going to have to be able to full combo these songs. On top of that, I am not going to tell you my exact score to give myself away, but you're going to need to score. I said the max tournament score is 739,200. You're going to need a score of roughly around 80% of that or more to even place globally.
So you need a B.
You need a B. You need to full combo, and you have to hit every note for 80, 90 points.
Which is easy enough to get 100 points as it is each note. Like, it's kind of hard to mess that up on those songs.
Swing through. I played through casually, and I got above 80% of max score. So that's what you're going to need to land if you want to place globally. If you want to play locally, just make sure there's no maniac to come by. What was that?
But start over if you miss a combo. Just like, nah.
If you miss a combo, you're basically out of it. If you miss one note, you might as well restart. Because I know for a fact, I mean, I wasn't even trying, and I hit all the notes, and there are players that are better than me. So that's a competitive update if you guys are going to be participating in the VAL. This is different because these songs are easier. So it's more precision-based rather than technical-based, which is like hitting crazy combos.
And it's important to note that on VRespawn.com, we have all the information. We have an interactive map of all the arcades. Hasko has been hanging out inside the Virtual Athletics League Discord. I think that's what a lot of those dings in her interview were about from other arcades saying, add me to your map, add me to your map. So we have an interactive map making it very easy for you to find out which arcades are doing it so you can find them easier. That's why we built this site, to make getting into these competitions, knowing about them, and finding out how to take part in them much easier for everybody. So check that information out. Any information that we need to update, anything new, especially the prizes when they become officially announced, will be updated there in that article. So feel free to check that out.
So if you guys want to compete in the tournament, there's some information on how well you have to perform and what to expect, because this is a worldwide tournament. There are going to be a lot of people. And lastly, we're going to talk about a Beast Saber social update. Poon Anders has the site on your screen. This is my personal Beast Saber. bsaber.com is
you have
the
no
website,
beast points.
short for Beast Saber. I don't have beast points. I actually don't know how to get those. But what's cool is you can connect your Score Saber account to it. So if you guys don't know, Beast Saber is a website that curates tracks. So because it's just kind of the Wild West and anyone can make a map, they talk about great maps. You can sort by difficulty. You can sort by reviews. So if you guys are looking for good Beat Saber maps and you don't want to trudge through all the trash, check out their website, bsaber.com. But you can also make a profile and link your Score Saber account to it to show how well you stack up amongst all the maps. So you see there, my global player ranking is 246. And if you play difficult maps, those maps will reward you performance points. Now, the algorithm's in beta right now, super early alpha rather. And so you score points by playing these super hard maps, and then you go up in global player ranking. It's a great way to not only compare yourself on each individual map, but compare yourself amongst all the players, and basically take this information and figure out if global player rank 245 is going to show up at your arcade, and make sure to avoid that arcade and go somewhere else. So it's just a cool update. Go check out the site and link your Score Saber to it. And Score Saber is a great way to see who's placing on what maps. There you guys go.
Yeah. So not to be left out, one last thing we want to mention. It is not currently a VR esport yet, but it will be soon. Echo Combat having another
Absolutely.
beta. They just added their stun grenade that we got to check out at E3. So people are going to have fun playing with that one. But it's the 16th. Sorry. The 16th is when they're going to play it. That's Thursday. They're calling it their gear patch. Get in that beta. If you want to compete in this game when competitions happen, after the game comes out, you need to start playing now, and you need to start figuring out who's going to be in your team now. You're not going to be able to private party up, but it doesn't matter. Start scoping out players and start building your team in the Discord, because when the game comes out, they are going to spring competitive play on you like this with no warning. That is how these guys roll, and you don't want to be caught holding nothing while all the good players get snatched up. So definitely start building your team right now and get in on the beta on the 16th. It is coming down, and it is coming down fast.
Oh yeah, and in this beta, they're especially going to be focusing on introducing new elements and weapons and balancing stuff. That's why they call it the gear patch. The stun grenade is super cool. We got to see it at E3. It actually travels and stuns people, so it goes linearly to stun people instead of the grenade, which just blows up. So that'll be a huge change to how people play the game. Check it out.
Ain't nobody stopping us.
16th. Go.
And that is it for us. There's a little more taste of the theme song. I can't get enough of that music. I talked to Stealth about trying to add it as a Beat Saber song, and he's like, it doesn't have enough notes. It's not going to be expert enough.
It's not some weird nightcore anime track with like the girl basically vibrating as she sings.
Or the entire movie of Shrek, right? None of that.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous. It's not complex enough to make into a map that's so hard that I would fail it. Basically.
Yeah.
But it'd make a good map.
Well, one final time, I am Poonanners, making noises. My man Hal, doing hype. Stealth Shampoo, Halvey, bringing us those Archangel highlights.
Let's go, Halvey.
We had Guts Gaming, did not actually get us the Pavlov highlights this time, but I'm going to throw a little shout out to him there because we don't want to forget that he's bringing us the love occasionally when he can. Sonia Haskins doing those interviews for us, still working on her technical capacity at it. So we're fine-tuning the show a little bit of time, including like new backgrounds. We're doing everything we can. We got Reddit r/esportsvr. Actually have the address correct for once. VRespawn.com are the information you have. And for the first time, our Twitter is now at VRespawn. We were able to actually claim it. So thanks to those of you who followed us on Twitter and made us somewhat more legitimate than the people who hadn't posted since 2013. So we have that account. So please follow us. If you want to know when these comes out, I have people ask me all the time. They're like, when's a new episode coming out? I'm like, I know I don't ask people to subscribe because I get tired of hearing that, but there is like a button in YouTube that lets you know.
Ring that bell.
No, don't.
Turn on
God, I hate that.
notifications.
But
I do. YouTube
God, I hate it so much. But at the same time, I'm like, there's a thing. Like, why do I have to? Anyway, it's there. So yeah, check it out if you want to, or follow us on Twitter. The very first place it's going to happen is YouTube. Like we post it after we spend all night recording this. We post it right to YouTube, and then we go to bed. But if you want to join in, please hit us up on Twitter, hit us up on Discord. Say you have a video, you commentary, whatever it is. Let us know, man. And we can't wait to hear from you guys, and we can't wait to see more of the stuff that is coming up.